What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here, back with another interview. And man, I told y'all we're going 9 for 9 for North Dakota State's ninth national title in 11 years. And we have another talented running back out of that backfield, Kobe Johnson. You saw him take it to the house in Frisco, Texas to break open the game for Bison this year. And was the all MVFC newcomer of the year, his true freshman year. Kobe, man, appreciate you joining the show.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, absolutely, absolutely. So let's go back to your high school recruiting process, man. I know you eventually committed to the Bison, but what programs were recruiting you the hardest, and what was your recruiting process like as a whole?
Yeah, to be quite honest, my recruiting process was it was kind of small. It wasn't too crazy. I had besides NDSU, I had three other offers: Gardner Webb, University of West Georgia, and Alabama A&M. And towards the end, my three options, I weighted down to the three, and it was West Georgia, A&M, and NDSU, of course. And after taking the visit, whatever, I decided NDSU was just the good place for me.
I man, made a great decision, two-time
Yep.
national champion now. And, outside of, of course, listen, I would love to be a part of that program just because of the winning alone. But what were some of the other factors that led you to North Dakota State?
I would say just how different it is up here. Being from Georgia, coming up here and seeing snow on the ground, and just how friendly the people were and things like that. It was just very welcoming. So I wanted a different experience for myself. So it was just a no-brainer to come up all the way up here.
Oh man, I like it. And so this team is so deep, man. And for you to come in as a true freshman and be one of the leading rushers, be a newcomer of the year selection in one of the best conferences in the FCS is an amazing feat. For you, though, man, what were the keys to becoming an instant impact freshman?
And honestly, it was just going into the practice or the film studies with the ideology that I'm going to get on the field. It was never a time during my freshman year where I was just going to be, content with being redshirted. I want to get on the field as soon as possible. So just going out there every day during fall camp, any practice we had with that attitude really helped me get to that spot.
Hey man, it paid off in a big way with the national championship your true
Yeah.
freshman year as well. But I have to ask, man, the FCS, you guys as players don't get enough credit. 2 seasons in one calendar year, and the teams like yourself that made a deep playoff
Mhm.
run had to play more games than anybody in the country. How tough was the COVID season on you and the team? And I know you had to overcome a late injury in the spring season too to get ready
Mhm.
for the fall season. So what was that process like?
Man, it was a lot of hard work put into it. As a team, after the national championship game, coach mentioned how many practices we've had this year. It was almost 300 practices just this year alone. So it's like when you're working that hard, it's hard to keep. It's almost hard to keep, your body fresh, your body ready to go. So just staying in the training room religiously, getting in the cold tubs, hot tubs, stimming, icing, whatever it may be, to, keep our bodies ready. Our strength coaches do a great job as well with us in the weight room, which that's also going to help us prevent injuries. So things like that, and how dedicated we are. We never lost sight, we never lost focus. Even after that Sam Houston loss, we use that as a chip on our shoulder to just, put our heads back down and just grind it back out so we come out on top again.
And you guys did just that. And I'm glad you mentioned that loss, man, because as you know, it's very rare not to win a national championship recently in North Dakota State football. For you, did you guys, was there a different mindset in the locker room knowing that now you guys weren't the ones with the target on your back, but you guys were the one with something to prove this season?
No doubt, we definitely had that underdog mentality. After each game, we all there was always doubters, doubting us from the outside, but we knew in the inside what we came here to do, and I feel like we proved that in Frisco.
Man, dominant win. I had a lot of people tell me they thought Montana State was going to hang, and it was just domination from
Mhm.
start to finish for you guys. But one of the biggest things that I give you guys credit for, and why I consider North Dakota State the best dynasty in sports, is because you guys have done it throughout multiple coaches, different starting quarterbacks, different players in different positions, different coordinators. For you being in the program, what are the keys to the what are the keys to the culture in the running back room, and specifically because you guys had 4 or 5 guys who could lead the team in rushing, even extending to Quincy Patterson and Cam Miller at quarterback. How do you guys get along? How do you guys root for each other and deal with the fact that you might not be the main game plan one week and then come out and be the leading rusher the next week?
Just having, a sense of selflessness, not being selfish when it comes to things like that. And, everybody wants to, be the guy, carry the rock and things like that. But when you come to NDSU, especially as a running back, you understand that, from game to game, the leading rusher might change, or there might be a game where, say Tamarick is snapping, so they're gonna feed him, or I'm having a great game, so they're gonna feed me. There's gonna be games like that as a running back. You gotta understand that. And I would just say, with us being like as close as we are as a unit, already, it's not even just as teammates, but as friends. We're able to joke around with each other. So when good things happen for each other, it's natural to just be happy for each other. So it's nothing too crazy to think about. So yeah.
Oh man, I give you guys a lot of credit because I mean, between Hunter Lipke, yourself, Tamarick,
hmm
Quincy Patterson, I mean, you guys have some dogs in the running back room. And the other question to go along with it is, how competitive is it during the weekend practice between you guys? Because you know that if you don't perform in practice, your carries could be given away in a heartbeat. So how competitive is it during the week at practice?
I would say it's pretty competitive. It's not really like spoken how competitive it is, but I think we all know in the back of our mind, like you said. So you go into practice and you're just dialed in, you're just focused up because you don't want practice to be the reason why you're not getting the carries you want. So just going into practice, running every rep 100 miles per hour, doing what you have to do during each rep of practice, whether even special teams, special teams portions of practices, I think play a big role as well. So, just giving all out during those periods as well could also, help boost you a little more for those when it comes to Saturday.
It definitely it pays off, man, in a big way. And for you, being at North Dakota State, man, you've been an instant impact freshman. You've had a big year this year, of course, with the signature play coming in Frisco, and on top of that, two-time national champion. If you had to give yourself a letter grade for your career at North Dakota State thus far, what would you say?
I would say I'm a years to go, still have a lot to learn. I give myself a solid B right now.
That's a fair grade. I'll let you I'll let you go with that one, man. Sometimes players are so hard on themselves; they'll like give themselves like
Yeah.
D's and stuff like that. I'm like, guys, gotta give yourselves a little bit of credit. But man,
Yeah.
one of the biggest things I get from fans on the show, especially fans of other teams, because we cover a lot of FCS, FBS football, is why would you want to go play in Fargo, North Dakota? Like that does not sound like a destination that you would want to go live, for the next 4 or 5 years. But for you, man, if you were a recruiter talking to a young kid in high school, what would your recruiting pitch be to those kids considering North Dakota State?
I always thought about saying how, when you get here, the people care. The coaches, they genuinely care about you as a person. They want to get to know you. They take the time out their days, they bring their families around and things like that. So you get to know who they are away from the facilities. And I was just say also the brotherhood is not it's just out of this world, the brotherhood. In the locker room, the laughs we have, in the like the little lobbies we have, the game rooms we have, the things like that, those moments like that I feel get taken for granted sometimes. So I would just say, having somewhere where coaches and the players really care about you, not just as athletes, but as a person as a whole.
Oh man, I love to hear that. And I mean, one of the head guys that does it so well, and he's been called a players coach on here a few times. Head
Mhm.
coach Matt Ince, of course, man, has taken over for Chris Kleiman and not missed a beat. two-time national champion, now going for his third next season. What is he like behind the scenes, and what is his relationship with the players in the locker room?
I would say there's a great relationship with Coach Entz. He's a funny guy behind the scenes. I don't know if you can watch interviews and kind of and really tell, but he's a funny fun guy to be around. He has a great sense of humor. He's just a like I say it again. He's a player's coach. He's always in the locker room with us. He'll come walk through, joke around a little bit with us, chatter a little bit. Before pre-practice, he's always, hey, are you good? You need anything? Like making sure everybody's all right. So I mean, just having a coach like that, it just makes it easier to play for him. Be able to buy into what they're selling. So I would say that's just coaching is behind the scenes.
Man, one of the most successful coaches in the FCS right now. But man, I want to take you back one more time to freshman year, comparing yourself now. So the freshman Kobe Johnson versus the Kobe Johnson I'm talking to today. How has your game evolved from freshman year to now?
Man, I would just say from freshman year to now, I wasn't playing as probably as freely as I was as well. Back then, I wasn't playing as freely as I am now because having a more understanding of defenses and just our offense as a whole has allowed me to play a lot faster and understanding as a running back blitz pickup that's a big thing. So I would say from my freshman years to now, that's one of the major things that I've developed is a blitz pickup, being able to diagnose what blitz is coming, seeing safeties, linebackers, and things like that, and just trusting my instincts a lot more. That's something that I've been able to work on more and more as time has come. So those would be the main two things I would say my game has evolved since 2019, definitely.
Nah, man, you can definitely tell, like you said, it's paid off in a big way. But man, let's get the fans to know Kobe Johnson a bit more, man. I know a lot of fans love the access to the players and getting to know you guys as people, man. So evaluate your game for me, man. Which running back do you model your game after the most who's in the NFL right now? And it could be a previous NFL player that might be in the Hall of Fame or something like that.
That's an easy one. Alvin Kamara, like it's that simple. He's actually from around the same area as me. So I heard a lot about him when he was playing in high school. Norcross, that was a big powerhouse in Georgia for a very long time. So just seeing him from there to seeing him now, I can't help but like want to emulate what he does. He's great. With balance, speed and power when he's running the ball, and he's also good with catching the ball out of the backfield. Two things that I feel like as a running back really like separates us on the field. That those two things alone can especially catching out of the backfield. That can separate. You know, a good running back from a great running back sometimes. So just being able to be diverse and different, be able to move the rock or be explosive in different ways. I feel like that's very important to implement into the game.
Absolutely, and the way the NFL is moving, man, he is going to be the prototypical running back that all the NFL teams are going to be looking for, man. With like you said, with his pass catching ability, his athleticism, but man, everyone's got their own special pregame routines on game days. So walk me through yours, man. How do you get ready to suit up for the Bison on Saturday?
Man, so I'm speaking from a home game perspective here. So if it's a home game, I'm big on wearing a very nice outfit because if you look good, you feel good, you play good. So I wake up, I put on a nice outfit, whatever, go to do all the meetings that we got to do, and during that free time, I'll come back and I'll actually like play the game for a little bit, just just clear my mind. You know what I'm saying? Just not just to relax a little bit. So I'll play the game a little bit, then I'll head back to the facilities, throw on my earphones, hop in the hot tub for about 20 minutes, get out, stretch a little bit, and then that's basically it. Nothing too crazy, nothing too spectacular. Just what I do.
Hey man, if it's working, you don't got to fix it.
Yeah.
If it's paying off in the long run, no need to change it, man. But without giving away all your trade secrets,
Mm,
man, you don't have to give me everything. Just a little bit here. If you're in the open field with a linebacker or a defensive back, what's the number one mistake they can make against you?
hmm. I would say probably trying to tackle low, like trying to chop my legs or something. Or yeah, I would say that'd be probably be the main one. trying to go low because working on a stiff arm, working on a couple moves that's going to defend well against that. So I would say that'd be one thing definitely.
I like it. He said, "If y'all wanna be on SportsCenter top 10, go ahead and try to chop me. You're gonna end up looking like
Yeah,
Najee Harris jumping over the DBs, in the national
exactly,
championship game."
exactly.
But man, we've had a few North Dakota State players on here. We've only found one trash talker. That was Phoenix Sproles. He said he talks a lot of trash. He said he's the biggest trash talker on the offense. But for you, man, do you talk a lot of trash during the game?
Honestly, I do not. I'm just gonna play football. I occasionally, if somebody does something to me, or I just feel like, well, I just made a great play. Let me, get under their skin by talking some more trash behind it. I might do that, but if I get 10 snaps, probably out of probably 8 of those snaps, I'm just playing football. I'm not even worried about what the other team has going on. So not really big on the trash talking. I do sometimes do wish I would do more, but again, it's just not my focus. I'm just trying to play ball.
Hey man, I'd rather have a ring at the end of the season too than talk trash throughout the season. So
Yeah, man,
paying off. But man, you
thank you.
can this question you can go back to high school. You can pick somebody you face in practice every day. You can pick someone you've played during the season. But who are some of the best defensive players that you've ever faced?
Man, that's another easy one. I would have to say Jabril Cox, linebacker. He's just so long and athletic that it's kind of spooky. I remember freshman year. I'm coming in. As one of the fastest recruits on the team, whatever. And I'm on scout team, and I think I was running a wheel route out of the backfield, and the way he just like tracked me down with ease was just like mind blowing to me. And like the things he does on the field is he uses his length, his speed, and his athleticism very well. And that's one player that if I would have to see again, like in a real game setting, I would definitely be, really studying what he's doing so I could, have a game plan for him. Definitely, Jabril Cox,
Um,
definitely.
Oh man, that's a great pick. Him and Michael Parsons are gonna be a problem in
Yeah,
Dallas moving forward,
they
man.
are
They are freak athletes down there. But man, you've
definitely.
accomplished so much as a player already. But 2022 is coming around the corner, man. You guys are going for the 10th national championship in 12 years in North Dakota State history. So for you, what are some of your personal goals for the 2022 season?
Man, um, my rushing yards. I would like to see my rushing yards increasing more. That'd just be me. You know, finding holes and being more explosive with the ball. So I would say at least 800 rushing yards. With our running back system, it's almost hard to get 1,000. So being more realistic with it, I at least want to get 800. Missouri Valley All Conference player. That's probably a big one. Um, man, and just I don't know. Also in the passing game, I would like to have an exceptional amount of yards in that category as well. I just want to be an all-purpose player, just an all-around player. So I would say that's a big goal. Those are big goals for me moving forward in 2020.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to seeing you chase those, man. But I know the Fargo Dome's amazing. I've heard it from fans, I've heard it from you guys, I've heard it from other analysts. So without picking the Fargo Dome, which I know that really handicaps you in this question, what other team had the best stadium environment outside of the Fargo Dome in North Dakota State?
Man, South Dakota State by far. Well, actually, it's between South Dakota State and probably North Dakota, because both of those games, the way those crowds were just so interactive, I would probably have to give it to SDSU because their crowd hung in it a little longer than UND's crowd wanted to. So I would say SDSU definitely with their stadium being outside and not being in a dome or anything like that, and for it to be as loud as it was, both times that we went while I was here, it's incredible to me. Both fan bases, ours and theirs, are very passionate about their team. So it's one of the best places to play, in my opinion, if it's not the Fargo Dome.
And there's so many great environments in the Missouri Valley, even the Big Sky as well, and all across the
Mhm.
FCS that don't get enough credit. So I like that. But man, if you got to play schedule maker, I know your career, only a few more years at NDSU, but for you, what's one FCS non-conference matchup that you would like to play that you haven't had a chance to yet?
Hmm. I would probably say it's a great question. I'd probably they're gone. Let's see. Trying to think here. I was gonna say Sam Houston, but they've already moved up. Um, this is a tough question. Trying to think of all these schools. I would probably say, man, there's so many great options out there. I would say Jackson State.
Ooh, I like that. That's a matchup I've been screaming for on this show for like I need that matchup to happen. I need that matchup to happen. That'd be one heck of a matchup right there. And I mean, great pick. I know
Yeah,
a lot of our listeners are going to like that because we have a lot of Jackson State fans that listen, and they've been asking me why North Dakota State and Jackson State haven't played yet. And so I'm sure that that'll get them talking about what ifs of that matchup this year because they're going to be very, very good this year as well. Um, but man, last question here. Yeah, I'm expecting your name to be called, a few Aprils from now when you declare for the NFL draft eventually, man. So if an NFL franchise asks you what they're going to get in a Kobe Johnson, what do you tell them?
so yeah, if the NFL franchise were, as what they're getting, I mean, they'll be getting a dedicated player to the game, a hard worker, someone who's going to be on time, do the right thing. If they're injured, they're going to go to the room. They're going to hold themselves accountable while also um, get somebody who's who feels they know a little football, but is always open and always eager to learn more. Because I feel like you just never done learning in his lifetime. So as much as you can soak it in, and just somebody who's gonna give you their all the time. Is never gonna leave any doubt, never gonna leave anything in the tank. There's always just gonna play their hardest, watch film the hardest, whatever it may be.
Oh man, listen, man. I'm going to be rooting for you through the process, and I know a lot of Bison are as well. Long line of success in the NFL for North Dakota State, man. But listen, I appreciate you coming on the show, Kobe. I know you're very busy, starting the new semester, getting ready
No
for this
problem.
next season, and everything like that, man. But listen, this time is yours. Plug your social media. Let people know where they can find you. Any NIL deals you may have, you can plug them here now as well, and give any and all shout outs, man. This time is yours to talk to the people, man.
Man, I just like to shout out to my family back home, mom, dad, sisters, uncle, granddad. You know, any friends that may be watching, just want to shout out to y'all too. And we got too many NIL deals going on, so I mean, I'll probably just shout out my peoples. Tell them I love them. I love y'all. Out here doing my thing, and it's for y'all. So,
Oh man, that's awesome, man. But guys, listen, Kobe's social media is going to be linked below in the description. Go follow Kobe on all social media. That's how they grow. That's how they grow their platform, their brand for NIL deals for the future after he graduates from North Dakota State. So make sure to go follow him on all social media, man, and run the views up on this for Kobe, man, and also follow his journey for a third FCS national title next season, North Dakota State's 10th. And also, man, stay tuned here for more
yes,
player
sir.
interviews coming throughout the offseason, man. But guys, for Kobe, myself, and the Blue Bloods, we are out for right now.